Hello, welcome back to the happiest hour on earth. This is episode 4. We are talking about a topic that we've discussed many times, and I'm pretty sure all you other Disney fans have also talked about, and that is creating our own rides within the park. So we're really stoked to get into this one and hear each other's thoughts. So let's get this going.
So as Emily said, we have come up with a couple of rides and we actually put some stipulations on what rides we can make. So first off, it has to be a ride that fits into a land. So that's our first choice of ride, a pre-existing land. And number 2, for the second ride, it's going to be a ride that has to be in a new land. So we're also creating a land. Lands. Yeah, and then number 3 is going to be a non-IP Disney ride. A lot of new rides are intellectual properties. So anything that's from a Disney movie or a Marvel movie or Star Wars or whatever the case may be is an IP-based attraction. And so we had to come up with a non-IP ride, which was so tough. So it just had to be something
that we came up with that had no relation to a movie whatsoever.
And it was so tough. And we were thinking like, oh man, like Disney has just done IP rides after IP rides. And then we thought some of the best rides are non-IP rides.
All the classics.
Pirates, Haunted Mansion,
Matterhorn,
Jungle Cruise, Space Mountain, and Thunder Mountain. They're all based on no movie.
Yeah.
Just came up with an idea. I think they took all the good ones. So it was a lot harder to come up with something.
Yeah, we had to get pretty creative on that one.
Yeah, so tough. But before we get into that, we have made some of our favorite snacks and drinks in the park. Emily, do you want to tell the audience what we have?
Yes, yeah, I would. So we have Bengal Barbecue Chieftain Chicken Skewers, which we're very stoked about. This is a favorite snack in Adventureland, so can't wait to try these bad boys out. Then, as for the drink, we have a drink from Trader Sam's, and it's called the Krakatoa Punch.
Yes, and we only had one light up ice cube. So sad, but at least we had one lying around. And this was the ice cube that we talked about a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we just so happened to find it. We used to have 2. Not sure what happened to the other one.
Not sure. Yeah.
He was chivalrous and let me take the one that we had. So.
Yeah. And this ice cube is from California Adventure, if you didn't hear. So this part of the hotel and the restaurant just lives with us. So
it's forever in our
now
apartment.
We get to use it in our episode, which is super exciting. But
maybe
should we go ahead and
let's start with the food.
All right, so this was pretty interesting, and we should have a reel on this, but we marinated this, and then we made our own sauce, and then we air fry everything. So we don't have a grill, so we decided let's just air fry this thing.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to go. It smells like Bengal barbecue, so let's try this thing out.
Cheers.
Cheers with our Chieftain chicken skewers.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. That is really good.
That is good.
You know what? I think the chicken is slightly overcooked.
A little tough.
A little bit.
Might have to adjust our air fryer.
Our air fryer settings. Yeah, but the sauce is.
That's pretty good.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean the sauce is the most important part. So even though it's not as tender and as juicy as Bengal barbecue, which is always so perfect. Hey, the flavor is there.
That is pretty flavorful.
That is really good.
Pretty poppin'.
Yeah, and this sauce had a lot of different ingredients in it. We'll show you on the reel.
Both the sauce and the marinade. They took a while.
Both of them did. Oh my gosh,
that's pretty tasty.
I just realized that it's going to be very awkward to eat. Eating off of a chicken skewer already is super awkward, let alone in front of a camera. Yeah, you're like, do I do the side thing and just get it all on my face? I don't know. Anyways,
like one more.
Hopefully we do this in a way that is not embarrassing. But anyways, should we go for these drinks? Trader Sam's is one of our favorite places, and the Krakatoa is so fun to get because if you haven't been to Trader Sam's, when you get the Krakatoa Punch, They go crazy in there. All the bartenders go so insane.
It's like a thunderstorm, lightning storm is going off.
Yeah.
Gets super loud. It's so fun.
It's already, like, so loud in there anyways, but yeah, you order this bad boy, the Krakatoa Punch, and, like, it goes off the rails.
And somebody
so
orders
fun.
it at least, like, every 5 minutes, so it goes off a lot.
Even if you don't like the drink, which, how can you not like the drink? It's still fun getting because it's so, it's so energetic in there.
Let's try it.
Let's try.
Oh.
That's really good.
That was really good.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that is really tasty. So, I mean, the one thing that we couldn't really replicate perfectly is they use this own mixture, I think, called the Gorilla Grog. And we found a quasi recipe online. And we even
had to deviate a little
bit. That recipe.
Yeah, we made our own little version of that. But it's still really good.
It's still really good. Yeah, that is good.
I love me some rum drinks. Those are my favorite tropical drinks are.
So good.
Right.
So, the one exciting thing is that this week, Disneyland didn't announce news the day after. Well, maybe they will still tomorrow. But they announced it the day that we were filming. So this is super exciting because we have some good news for Californians. Only Californians, no one else. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Hopefully that expands soon. But Disneyland has officially announced the reservation system that will be available for the April 30th opening date of Disneyland.
Woo!
Yeah. Let's clap for
Round
that.
of applause.
So exciting. So I know that a lot of things when they are opening during this time, a lot of the guidelines are very complicated sometimes. And so I read the full article and broke it down as clear as I can make it. So hopefully this helps you guys out as we talk about the opening. But like I said, it's only Californian residents. It's going to be a reservation system that will launch on April 12th. But that is only going to be open for guests with existing valid tickets. They can make reservations that day, starting at 8 a.m. Pacific time. However, if you do have a valid Disneyland ticket, let's say you bought it before COVID, you are able to check available days beginning on April 9th. So you could go in and see what days are available. And hopefully on April 12th, when they open up the reservation system, you're able to go in and grab the day that you're looking for. If you don't already have a valid Disney ticket sales will resume on April 15th at 8 a.m. So those who don't have the tickets can then buy those tickets at that time at 8 a.m. and then make a reservation. So now it looks like you have to buy the ticket first and then you could reserve your date. And then after that, you could create a party by linking all of your tickets of no more than 3 households. So let's say you all want to go on a specific date and you're going with a couple of friends. After you've all bought your tickets, you could then link your tickets to one account so you make sure that you're able to get in on the same day. And then you select the day and the theme park you'd like to visit. You can do park hoppers, but I think you still have to pick which park you want to go to in the morning. So which park you want to visit first. And if you have multiple day tickets, you have to pick each day separately. So that being said, let's say you have 3 tickets, right? You have to go in and actually make sure that each day lines up to the next for whatever day you want. So it's not like you just pick the first day and then you're good for those 2 days after. You have to actually select and pick days and they have to be available. So that's going to be a little tricky. Also, park hours are going to be 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., which is kind of a bummer because Disneyland at night, Disneyland at night is so great with all the lights lit up and, you know, all the shows as well. So they did say that it is subject to the restrictions and everything. So hopefully that they're able to, you know, extend those end times. And then also, if you do have a park hopper ticket, you can park hop after 1 p.m., but not before then. So there's a lot of weird guidelines here, but hopefully that made it a little bit more clear for you guys. And hopefully on April 12th or the 15th, depending on if you've had a ticket already or you didn't have a ticket, hopefully you're able to get in and get the date that you're looking for. So best of luck to you guys out there. So
yes, Can't wait
now
to get
that I
back.
got all that out, there's so many
Big
guidelines.
news.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yeah, big news. Should we go ahead?
Should we get started?
Should we get started? So our first round is going to be a new ride that has to
fit within a land.
Exactly. Do you want to go first while I try some of those chickens here?
Okay, I guess I'll go first. So, my pick for this one is going to be in Fantasyland. I guess it could be in Disney World or Disneyland, doesn't really matter. I would create a ride that would basically be a ride over Fantasyland. So kind of like in Peter Pan's Flight, you'd be flying, and it would just be kind of like little glimpses of other classic Disney movies that are not already in the park. I think that would be really fun. I've always thought it would be fun to get kind of like a wrapped up overview of Fantasyland. I just think that would be a fun concept.
Great too, because like, you know, some parks, especially Disneyland, are very tight on space. So if you're able to have one ride that kind of just brings you in a part of each ride that hasn't been touched upon. So there's like Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Cinderella even.
Yeah.
Even Sleeping Beauty, even though the castle's there.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be a cool way to
just kind of incorporate little tiny glimpses of each. I don't know what kind of like what you would sit in necessarily.
Yeah. You could do a I don't know if you guys have ever done this, but you know when there's like some rides at fairs where you almost lay down on it like a hang glider.
Yeah.
And then like a little bar comes over the top. Mix that with the suspension of Peter Pan, and you could like fly over everything, which would be really, really fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a great first ride. Yeah, that way you're just like knocking everything out in one ride. Oh, that'd be great. So mine would also have to live in Fantasyland. Okay. And I am gonna have to say, I love Frozen. But Tangled does not get the credit that it's due. Tangled is such an amazing movie.
I love Tangled.
Yeah, and we need a Tangled ride. We need some Tangled presence in the park.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I mean we have some. Yeah, we have some like you know, with the
Fantasy Fairs kind of.
Fantasy Fair kind of has that Tangled-y stuff. But I'm gonna have to put mine in Fantasyland, and my ride system. Okay, I feel bad because it's kind of taking from something that already exists. But I loved the Frozen Ever After ride in Disney World at Epcot. I love the boat system. And it's like a dark ride, but you're on a boat. But Tangled dark ride has to be on a boat because you have that amazing I See the Light scene. And you need to be on the water for that. So I would say as Frozen Ever After is just kind of little glimpses of not even the first movie, I would say. It's just kind of a hodgepodge of scenes. I would say Tangled would have to be kind of like movie from start to end. So you'd be on the water and you'd see a lot of different scenes. But then when you go to that I See the Light scene, maybe you're in a big show building at that scene, and you have animatronics of them on the boat, but also you have projection mapping of all the lanterns going up around you. And it's just this beautiful climactic scene. And then you finish off the story, and then, you know, maybe you throw in a drop there just because it's fun. But I think we need a water Tangled ride, dark ride.
I think so too.
And it would live perfectly in Fantasyland. I don't know exactly where because our space is tight, but bring it on. Let's go, Tangled.
Tangled needs to be seen.
So I want to end on a Disney-related thing. So instead of going another Disney ride in a new land, let's go non-IP. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm next.
Yeah.
Okay. This was hard to come up with. I think both of us struggled coming up with one for this.
Yeah.
But I personally am a huge fan of just the history of Disneyland and Walt Disney. So I came up with an idea that would rest in Main Street, basically. I thought it would be really awesome to have kind of a dark ride of Walt Disney's life. We have an amazing museum over here in San Francisco of just Walt Disney's life, beginning to end.
Walt Disney Family Museum.
It's amazing.
So
I love going there, and it's been way too long since we've gone. We've gone a handful of times.
If you ever find yourself in this area, go do it. There's no rides, which is so sad, but there's so much great history.
Such a great museum.
It's awesome.
But I thought for those who, aren't going to make a trip all the way over to San Francisco for the museum, that it would be really great to do a ride that kind of just quickly wraps up all that history in a ride.
Yeah.
So,
would it be like animatronics and stuff like
maybe
that
a little mixture of animatronics, some screens with old footage of Walt and some quotes from him, starting from maybe it wouldn't start from childhood, but maybe just from the time he came here and came up with the idea of Mickey, and then progressing into Disneyland and just little bits of each of that, and obviously would get to the Disneyland part. I'm not exactly sure where it would end, but I just think a history of Walt Disney would be a great addition to the park.
That would be really cool.
I don't want the park to lose sight of who he was and who started that place.
Yeah.
And I think it would just be so awesome to have a ride that just embodies who he was. Disneyland is for all ages, right? There's elderly that still love going. There's kids that love going. There's young families. There's, every age group can benefit from Disneyland and fall in love with it.
Yeah.
But I think it would just be so fun to have that, I would love to take our little boy on it to just kind of help him understand why that place is so special and what Walt's vision was kind of.
That'd be awesome.
I don't know. Some people may find it boring, possibly, but just don't ride it then.
And Main Street is the best place for that because, like I said in other episodes, that's is it Marceline?
Yeah.
Right? Is it Marceline? Right. But it's right there in Main Street, which is built after how he grew up. And then it could just end with him building Disneyland, and then you walk out, and then you're in Disneyland. Yeah. Oh, that'd be so cool. That'd be awesome.
That's my idea. How about you?
Okay, so I had a very tough time with this. I was trying to think. I was like,
what have they not come up with yet?
Yeah, it's like back then, it wasn't necessarily easy, but they took everything, so it's a lot harder now.
Nobody had taken those yet, so they had the world as their playground.
Exactly. And I understand why Disney does a lot of IP-based attractions now, because it's we have creative minds working on these movies, and people want to see these movies. And let's say they came out with a medieval ride or something that they haven't touched yet. People would be like, oh, that's cool, but it's not Raya and the Last Dragon themed or whatever the case may be. So it's really tough to do. So I came up with something a little bit weird and not as good as yours by any means. But I was trying to think of the different lands, and this one, I was I want it to fit into a land, right? And so I think Tomorrowland would be. I know those skewers are so hard to eat. This is part of the fun of watching our podcast. Is that you just get to watch us make a mess and spill on our white shirts and on our clothes. My white shirt. You didn't actually, but that's very risky to eat barbecue with a white shirt. So, but anyways, I thought one land that I think needs to boost up a little bit, even though I love it so much, is Tomorrowland. I love Space Mountain so much. That's one of my favorite rides. But you're going in space. It's dark. You don't really. You're just chilling in space. You're just flying through space. And I thought it would be cool to. Yeah, not much theming. I was thinking it would be cool to actually have a ride where you're on another planet. And so what I was thinking of is, how do you make it relevant? And obviously in a couple of decades it won't be relevant, but right now we're talking about a lot about, like, you know, Elon Musk is talking about finding a planet that is semi-habitable for humans, and like that's the big talk right now. Like Mars is the closest thing I think to Earth, and so they're like, let's live on Mars, but it's not like actually habitable for us yet or whatever. So I thought, what if there's a ride where all of a sudden we find another planet that just was hanging out there somewhere. It's just there.
We never saw it.
Tested
somehow.
it. Yeah, we never saw it. It was just cloaked in something. And then we found it. But anyways, it turns out that this planet is as close as you can get to like Earth's
Atmosphere.
climate and atmosphere and like breathability. I don't know all this stuff, so I'm just making up things. But anyways, it pretty much from the test shows that humans can live there. So you are on the ride and you're pretty much the first humans to land on this planet.
Ooh.
And so I'm thinking ride system wise is almost like Test Track, because Test Track is a fast ride but also has like a lot of sharp stops and turns and, you know, speed ups and, you know, all these things. And I think that it would be great for this type of ride. So it's not necessarily a roller coaster, but it does have a lot of fast portions to it. So the ride would open with a little video of like how you've got there. And then all of a sudden you enter the vehicle, which is like a space rover thing for humans. And then you're off. And it's this whole like planet. It's like dark ride themed, like dark ride based. But as you're going through, you notice that this planet is not necessarily habitable for humans because there's a lot of things there that could harm humans. And I don't know if that's going to be creatures or like weird things. We just watched Kong vs. Godzilla, so maybe this is like factoring into my thoughts.
Monster juices are flowing.
The monster juices are flowing. But there's like different things that are coming at you and you speed up and stop to avoid something and you're going through. But anyways, that to say, a thrill ride in Tomorrowland that's not just in space, but is actually on a planet that we thought was good for us, but turns out it's not. And I don't know how it ends. Do you end...
It's gotta end a little happy,
you know
right?
What? Maybe you end like Rise of the Resistance, where you, at the end, you find your way back to the space station and then drop back to Earth, and then you exit, and then it's like, Earth is the best we've got. So let's just stay here. Like, that's, I don't know. Anyways, that'd be like an interesting thought. That was literally the only thing I came up with besides like a medieval ride.
They really stole everything.
They stole everything. And speaking of medieval rides, if they ever did a medieval ride, it has to be Robin Hood themed. So bringing in IP again,
yeah.
Robin Hood would be a fun little dark ride.
Robin Hood. But yeah, no, in Tomorrowland, one thing I was thinking is Star Tours could get moved into Star Wars Land, so that whole building could be where yours takes place.
Oh, hey, which actually, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that would make sense, right? Like,
So,
Star Tours should go in
yeah,
Star Wars Land.
well, I think it definitely should. And so the interesting thing here is, I believe, from what I've heard, they've reserved a certain area in Star Wars Land in Batuu to make an expansion. And I'm wondering if they're deciding, hey, should we bring Star Tours in here or should we bring another ride?
I mean, it would only make sense.
But it would make sense to have Star Tours. But then you have another simulator and a Smuggler's Run. But yeah, it is weird to not have that in there. So maybe they'll do that in the future. It'll be
and then there's
interesting.
space for your ride, so.
And then there's space for my scary dark ride planner, whatever it is.
I like it.
So, are we now on
Our last one.
new ride, new land?
Yeah. Am I next?
You're next. Let's
Okay.
go.
All right.
As I try
So,
this chance.
what I came up with for this is basically I would create a land that is based off of Moana. I love Moana, and I think there needs to be more Moana in the park.
More Moana in the park.
Yes. And I don't know where this would happen. Disneyland just needs to be able to expand, I think, because there's just so many ideas that need to be put in the park. But I would love to see a full land with a resort that would kind of model Aulani in Hawaii / the Polynesian resort in Walt Disney World. Ooh. We need some like tropical vibes in Disneyland, right?
And we don't have any water themed land. So like
exactly
Aulani with the water.
Yeah. So I think it needs to be kind of based off Moana. Have some water rides in there, like, you know, water slides and stuff like that. But also have like Stitch, because that's also in Hawaii. They would be kind of like the main two characters or like movies it would be based off of. Yeah. And there would be a Moana Ride where you're on, it's kind of like Pirates, like a boat ride. And you're going through all the obstacles that Moana and Maui face as they try to, you know, find the
Heart of Motunui.
Yes, the Heart of Motunui.
The Heart of Motunui.
And yeah, so it would just be kind of going through all of that. And then, and you know, kind of be some drops, some water involvement, of course, because that's a big part of Moana. I think that would be such a fun ride. I love Moana.
I feel like you could even have that kind of like Pirates, but also like the Pirates of Shanghai. Like bring in, if you guys haven't seen Pirates of the Caribbean, I was like trying to say Caribbean, but then in the middle of it, I was trying to do the Caribbean. Anyways,
not that we've ridden it, but in Shanghai, the Pirates ride is like incredible.
If you haven't seen it, on YouTube, awesome. It's so cool. There's no track. It's all like laser technology under the water, crazy. But it can move your boat left to right to forward to back, no matter what. But they blend screens and physical props so well. And I could see that for like maybe even the beginning, like its humble beginnings or like the classic Pirates. But then when you go to like where Taka is or whatever,
it would have to get pretty intense.
Maybe you get into like a big projector room, but you're still in the water. But Taka is like a big, like on the big screen, and there's like she's throwing things at you, and there's like this blend of physical and screen. Moana is amazing. One of my favorites, and we need some Moana Pacific Islander
representation
vibes in Disneyland. Let's go.
Yes, we just need some tropical vibes. I want a resort and a whole land dedicated to that, because Disney World has everything. Like, they have all the water rides. They have every kind of resort you could imagine. I just think that we need a little bit more. We need to expand Disneyland, you know? Resort-wise,
I don't know how
land-wise.
we'll do that, but, I mean, they're looking to it, but
I know.
we need to go bigger, which is really tough because there's a lot of businesses around there that,
I know.
You know, but we'll figure it out.
If that could ever happen, then I think Moana would be a great place to expand.
That'd be awesome. Okay, so for mine, this is, rides with a new land. I am going to have to say, we need some Lion King up in here. We really do.
Yes, we do.
Seriously, Lion King is such a staple in the millennial
I don't care how old you are.
But even for old. Gen X or something. Even the one right before millennials, I'm sure they love Lion King so much.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Lion King is so amazing, and I think we need some Lion King in the parks. There's a little bit of it in the parks, and there's some on Broadway, which is absolutely amazing, but we need a ride.
We need more, we need a ride.
So I'm gonna have to say a ride of Lion King. I'm going to put this in Animal Kingdom because I think it just fits. So the land itself would be the Pride Lands, which I don't know exactly what will go what other things will go in there, but you could have it maybe connected to where the animals are, for the Kilimanjaro safaris and things like that. Or is it, Kilimanjaro safaris.
Oh,
So
yeah,
you
that
still
would make
see a
sense.
couple of the animals, and I don't know how this works layout-wise, but hopefully that works. But you could build the Pride Lands, and I think for a ride, you know how Radiator Springs is like a kid-friendly test track, right? Similar, there's a dark ride element, and then there's a fast element. I'm going to say this ride will be a kid-friendly version of Indiana Jones and Dinosaur. So that being said, most of it's like a dark ride. Let's say you're on a safari and you're in the wilderness, but then you see scenes from Lion King happening around you, dark ride theme. So there's animatronics, maybe there's some screens, and you're going through the original movie. But then when things get a little bit intense, you're making some quick turns, almost like Indiana Jones, quick turns around, go to another scene, and a little bit of bumpiness and all that stuff. So it's kind of like Indiana Jones in a way in the ride system, but it's a little more pulled back so that younger audiences can join it too. So maybe instead of 48 inches, you're like, it goes down to like a 40 inches or whatever. So that way, it's fun for everyone, and kids could ride it as well because there is this dark ride element, but also a little bit of thrill. And I think that would be really, really cool to introduce because we need a Lion King ride. I'm just calling it. We need it.
That sounds really fun.
And I think it's overdue. I mean, Lion King is I would have to say, one of the best Disney movies.
I really don't know how they haven't created something like that yet. Yeah. Honestly, Lion King is it's so many people's favorite.
Music, animation, movie,
everything.
And I love how I said Tangled doesn't get its like fair share of representation in the park, but I was like, Lion King is
going back a little further even.
Yeah.
They really got to bring some Lion King in. I like that idea.
They do. Yeah, so either that or something else, we need Lion King in there. So we also reached out to people on Instagram. We posted to see what their ideas were.
We needed some inspiration.
We wanted to hear what other people thought because I feel like we were, we had our ideas of some things that we were thinking about for a very long time. And we wanted to hear what other people thought and just kind of quickly discuss their ideas for a ride. Yeah. Actually, before we get to that, did you have any other rides that weren't in those stipulations that you've kind of thought of, or that would be fun? Just like a little quick fire round of rides.
I mean, I think that there's probably lots more I could come up with, but those were the ones I really think
I guess
should be
I've
there.
been marinating on this for a while because I had a couple. I'd like 3, but I'll go really quick. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Actually, one of these we talked about the other day. We need a Coco ride. Coco is amazing.
Yes, Coco.
And so that, I think,
love Coco.
Yeah, Coco could be a nice dark ride. We're also thinking it'd be really cool to be in the Mexico Pavilion in Epcot. Oh, yeah. So let's go Coco. Another one I thought of was Inside Out.
Oh, yeah.
Because Inside Out is so awesome. Inside Out, but the before Star Tours was the Adventures Through Inner Space, right? Was that what it's called? Yeah, Adventures Through Inner Space. Something like that, but Inside Out. And also, I was thinking you could even double it up, mash up with Inside Out at the beginning, but the second half of the ride is soul based. So you're going through the mind and the soul, and then your brain just explodes at the end of it. And you're like, oh, this is great.
Sounds like quite an experience.
Yeah, I mean, you ride that ride and your life has just changed. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be so awesome. That'd be so cool.
That would be a fun one.
And then my last one is, we didn't talk about Marvel or Star Wars in our ideas, so I feel like I have to bring this up, especially because R.I.P. Iron Man. I love you, 3000. Oh my gosh. But so I'm thinking Tron is really cool, but if they ever brought the Tron ride system to California, and I know they're bringing it to Disney World, which is super awesome, but I think they should reskin that and maybe change the track a little bit to an Iron Man themed ride, because I think it's either Japan or maybe Hong Kong. They have an Iron Man ride that's Star Tours based, screen based ride, which is really cool. But I think that a physical ride like the Tron Light Cycle Coaster, I think it's called, where, because you're almost in an Iron Man position, right? You're almost lying flat, but something like that Iron Man base, where you go outside and it looks like you're flying outside for a little bit, but then when you come into the showroom, there's a lot of screen-based things that you're kind of shooting down as you're flying like Iron Man. I feel like that would be such a cool idea.
That sounds fun.
And that was all my ideas. Do you have any
great ideas?
Did that kind of hit everything?
I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, those are some good ideas. But we did get a couple of ideas from other people. So
yes,
let's highlight those.
So we got one from our friend Phil, actually. He said an Aladdin, which there's no Aladdin in the parks. There's pretty much no Aladdin in the parks.
All that there was Aladdin's Oasis. Which no one ever went to. It was so
Yeah. And then Paris, Disneyland Paris has an Aladdin small walkthrough that we didn't get to go into, unfortunately, when we were in Paris. But he was saying, and this was a great idea, an Aladdin magic carpet ride escaping from the Cave of Wonders.
That's pretty legit.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
And he didn't mention if it was going to be a roller coaster or a flight passage type thing or what, but that sounds like you could also do the Tron thing. Instead of reaching over for the bike handles, you're reaching on for the edge of the carpet.
Yeah.
You're in that position, right? You're perfect.
Oh, that would be super fun. That would be really fun.
Oh, yeah. So
that idea.
Phil, great idea. So someone on Instagram, it's Max Baker, said we need a Yzma and Kronk wrong lever. Oh wait, no, actually, the wrong lever brings you down to the alligators. So it'd be the correct lever.
Yeah, the right level.
It would bring you down to the lab. And yeah, ever since I saw that movie, I feel like we needed.
That would be a great ride. Emperor's New Groove is such a good movie. I love that movie. I think there is zero representation of Emperor's New Groove in the park.
There literally is zero.
There's nothing. I think that would be a really fun ride, and I have no clue where that would go. I don't know where that would go.
Where would that fit?
That doesn't fit into any land.
No adventure land.
And I don't know how you would create a whole land for it either, but it would still
Cusco's Paradise. Or Cusco's, what's it? Cuscotopia.
Cuscotopia.
Cuscotopia. We'll do that instead of the the Polynesian land. It'll just be Cuscotopia water resort.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Cuscotopia could go into the Toy Story parking lot. A small little Cuscotopia.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
That would be legit.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds like a fun ride though.
Right? Well, that'd be great. And to see an animatronic Kronk and Yzma would be so cool.
Yeah. That should be in the park, I agree.
And then you go through at the end. Haunted Mansion, you go through and then there's a little ghost hanging out in the mirror next to you.
Mm-hmm.
You go through and you look in the mirror and you're a llama. And then you're what? They're just kidding.
Kind of like Haunted Mansion, yeah.
Yeah, you're I've turned into a llama, and then you go out and then the ride ends there and it's just really anticlimactic. So we also got, I don't know if you want to read some of these off too. But I could say the next one. You could do the next one maybe.
I didn't know that we had so many.
We had do you want to do this one?
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So Shannon and Robin, I think this is the sisters of one of our friends, who actually is the one who told us about the churros last week. So they said Pirates of the Caribbean style ride, but Hades and Underworld in an all villains land.
We know I know a lot of people have been pushing for this all villains land for a while.
Yeah.
And honestly, that would be so
That would be pretty
awesome.
sick.
And as I read that, like when we got that recommendation, I was like, oh dude, like Pirates of the Caribbean style where you drop in and all of a sudden
And
you're in
then
this, like,
all the
Haiti.
villains are like
Oh my
congregated.
gosh.
Oh.
That would be pretty awesome. All right, so
We have another one.
Lauren, our friend.
which is the one that told us about the churros.
And so she actually said Yzma and Kronk roller coaster as well. But she did drop another idea. So she said a Radiator Springs Racers or test track style pod racing ride, which would be so awesome. So yeah, I mean, I remember when I was a kid, the pod race was life for me. I mean, I wanted to be a pod racer, even though that could never be a thing. And I feel like being able to jump in a pod racing style vehicle and race other people, I'd flip out.
Sweet.
I would go there I would ride that thing multiple times in a trip.
Yeah, that's a pretty exciting part of that movie. I think it would be awesome to have a pod race in Disneyland.
It's like Phantom Menace. It's like pod racing and Darth Maul. Like those are like, it's like,
yeah.
And maybe you're just pod racing and then for no reason at all, Darth Maul comes out and then you're like, the second best part of the movie. That's cool. So yeah, let's do a pod racing Darth Maul movie.
Right.
Do you want to? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Do you want to do this?
Okay, next we have our very good friend Crystal, who said Wanda and Agatha fight scene with Vision, maybe Star Tours style.
That'd be pretty awesome.
That would be fun.
I mean, like to be
like
in the midst of that fight scene.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like awesome. It was all happening in the sky, and that she was, putting the hexes in there and all that stuff, and like to be up there with Vision and like all that stuff. That would be
That'd be
pretty
sweet.
incredible.
That'd be an intense one.
Any sort of like WandaVision in my life, I am there for.
Yeah, that'd be a sweet ride.
Oh, I'm down. I'm so down.
I like that.
And then the last one we have here is from our friend Will, who's married to Chrisley. Wow, thanks for the ideas, guys. You guys are a huge help here. Since
Great
we didn't get that many
ideas.
responses on Instagram. No, just kidding. Anyways, Will says,
ooh.
and I don't know what kind of ride system this would be, but he said a Mulan adventure themed ride, and you tag along. I keep thinking about the Girl Scout cookies. I'm saying that. Tag along.
My favorite.
During the Huns invasion, and it ends with a climactic fire scene that kills Shan Yu. And he said, and I don't know if he meant, a Soarin' style type of ride, but just evoking that feeling, when you're on Soarin', and you go through the fireworks, and you end, and it's beautiful and all this stuff. But this time, you're going through,
Soarin'.
and as the fireworks go off, you watch Shan Yu die. Because that's where he was going with that. But maybe you could do like a mix of, because I think Mulan, we need some more. Yeah, we need some Mulan in the park.
That's another one that we don't have enough.
That could be a cool.
Or any.
Like, oh man, okay. This is a new ride system right here. There's a new ride system, and I'm ready to go.
All right.
Soarin' style, but dark ride system, right? So you're hang gliding through a lot of these scenes, but you're seeing animatronics, so you're seeing like physical props. But then at the end, there's a big room with screens, and then you get that majestic fireworks scene or whatever. But at the beginning, you're going through, just kind of almost like Peter Pan, and seeing a lot of animatronics play out in scenes, but there's screens, and then at the end, you get to fly into, the top of that building. I forgot what it's called. The Emperor's Palace. The Emperor's Palace, right? And you're flying through, and behind there's a big screen with all the fireworks going off. But the actual Emperor's Palace is like physical, and so you're flying over that, and then as you're seeing all those like screen projected fireworks, you're gonna watch Shan Yu die. So
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sounds like a brutal ride.
Yeah, it
but
sounds like a
pretty
brutal ride.
sweet.
Well, yeah, he's a bad guy, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna say it's an epic way to
Maybe don't show it like in such detail.
right
but
when he's about to explode into fireworks. Is that I'm trying to remember the line.
pretty much.
Yeah, he explodes with the fireworks. Right as he's about to do that, you just gotta go up.
Yeah.
I feel like Disney does that a lot with
You
villains.
just kind of skim over
see
the
people
really
fall.
gruesome part.
You see people fall, but you don't see them land. That's
Yeah.
like Disney. That's right there. It's like Beauty and the Beast. Right?
Like, well, I'm pretty sure they died.
Fall. And then you're just like, you don't get to see it, but you're like, yeah. There's
They're
no way,
not
like,
in the picture anymore.
physics, he's gonna survive that. You're good.
It's
You're not
true.
gonna make it. So, anyways, that is
That
all the
concludes.
rides that we had.
Yeah. Some pretty
And-
good ideas.
yeah,
I think
some
Disney
really
should
good
tune
ideas.
into this episode and pick up some
Hit us
Imagineering ideas.
Yeah, hit us up. Just make us Imagineers. We're ready.
I mean,
to
I
go.
would
We're
gladly take that on. I think I could help out.
ready. Yeah, let's do it. Husband and wife duo, Imagineer style. Let's go. Anyways, we want to thank you so much. If you have a Disney ride idea and you're watching on YouTube, let us know in the comments what you
Give us even
would
more
make.
good ideas.
And if you're listening on Spotify, grab us on Instagram and just comment on our latest post and tell us
We
what
want some more
ride that
ideas.
you would make, because we love hearing ride ideas, because I think there's a lot that haven't been implemented, and I think we definitely need to just dream of a day when those become
Yeah.
realities. So
Because who knows? Could happen, you know?
could happen. So anyways, thank you so much for joining episode 4
Yeah.
of the happiest hour on earth.
Thanks for tuning in.
See you guys next week.
See you next time.